we are getting ready to drill the holes for where the doorknobs are going to go on top here, and then the latch on the side. I've already drilled out the hole on this door here. It's nice and clean, as you can see. And what I am using here is a kit, Ryobi. I believe this is from Home Depot, if I'm not mistaken. But the kit gives you a template for where the holes are going to be for the doorknobs and the plate, strike plate. And it also usually comes with 2 of the hole saws that you need to drill those holes. So what we have here is a 2 1/8 drill and then a 1-inch drill. And then there's a couple of adjustments on here. You can either go 2 1/8, or 2 3/8 inches in from the edge here, or 2 3/4 inches. I measured the rest of our doors that we have in the house, and everything's 2 3/8 inches in from the edge. So that's why I have this set for. This is really easy to use. You just measure up from the bottom of the door where the door handles are going to be. In my case, it's 36 inches from the bottom to match the other doors in the house. And you just put the template on. It screws in here, which is really convenient too, because that matches the holes that hold the strike plate in also. So you just put a couple of drywall screws in there. It'll hold it in place nice and tight. And then we just take our hole saw, which we have here, and we'll put it in here and drill out that hole. All right, I've got the camera mounted really close to this hole saw and this template, but if the camera gets a little shaky, my apologies for that, but I'm going to show you how this is done. And then you just put your template in. Excuse me, you just put your hole saw into the template, and then you start drilling. So here we go. And that's all she wrote for that end. But there's one thing I want to show you. So the depth of the drill that is on the end of here in the hole saw is actually shorter than what the depth of this whole thing is. So what I need to do is turn this whole thing around and then start from the other end and come this way. And I should have a hole all the way through, which I do. I can feel it on this end. And all we're going to do is just flip this template around. The holes are already in place for the strike plate, so it should line up just perfectly. And then we can get the other side done. However, while I'm on this side, I'm going to go ahead and take the drill apart and use the 1-inch hole saw to put my door latch hole in. So I'm going to show you that here in a second too. So I've switched the bits out. Got a 1-inch hole saw here. All we're going to do is we're going to go right into the middle here and punch a hole all the way through till it gets to the cutout piece there. So you're not going to be able to see it. I'm just going to lay this down here so you can see where I'm going in, and then we'll start that process. So check it out. Very good progress. So what has happened is I drilled in, but it broke off the end piece here. And you can see it kind of sitting there in that slot. That slot is so you can get a screwdriver in to remove any of those pieces that get stuck there. And it also helps with heat dissipation also. So I'm going to clear that one out first, and then we're going to continue on here, and then we'll show you how that works. So I've cleared that piece out, and we're going to continue on drilling until we get to that centerpiece there. So hold tight again. Here we go. we've definitely made it through to that piece. You can see all the residual wood in there. So I'm just going to clear that out. I know that it went through all the way through because it did the same thing on that one over there. So we're going to clear this one out. We're going to flip this table over, and then we'll finish the hole cutting for the doorknob. So hold tight again. All right, we flipped the door around. As you can see here, it just has a hole sticking through it now. The hole on this side has been drilled out perfectly, and I've got the big hole bit on here to finish out the hole on this door. So we'll set the camera down and we'll finish this one out, and then we'll show you how clean of a cut it is. Here we go. That's all she wrote. There's the piece that came out of the door. You can see there's the cut from the 1-inch hole saw, and you can see how clean of a cut that is for the doorknob. So I'm going to take this template off and then show you how clean it looks, and then we'll wrap this one up. I've taken the template off, as you can see here, and that is a nice clean hole that template has provided us to put the doorknob in. And there's that 1-inch hole that will connect back to the door handle there for the latch. And you can see we've got our 2 pilot holes already driven that held the template in place. That is going to be where the strike plate goes for those screws that go into that. So this is really good, and that completes how to drill door handles on a door that do not have the holes in them. The next piece here, as I mentioned earlier in a previous video, is to remove this top cardboard that is sitting all along here, because what I want to do is put that solid piece of wood across the top of that, and it'll just give it a little more stability. And when I use those door stops that go on the top of your door, I'll have a secure mounting surface to put those on. So that is coming next. All right, I've cleared the first top of the door off, and you can see here that was really easy to get out. Only took me about 5 minutes. But there is not much to these interior doors. These are called hollow core doors. So these 2 panels here are just pressed, and then they put this cardboard stiffener on the inside so it doesn't bend. But that came out easy. I'm going to do the second one here shortly. All I'm taking is a drywall knife, and I'm just cutting across the top. You see how easy that goes? I'm just doing it one-handed here, but just goes across the top, go across the bottom, and then eventually this just cleans out. So we're going to do that here next, and then we're going to create our piece of wood. I've got that long piece of wood sticking out of the bucket right there I'm going to use. And I kept the original pieces. As you can see here, I'll use these as a template to figure out how thick I need to make it, or how wide rather. Not worried about the thickness because that's all going to be inside the door. But the width is what I'm concerned about here. So I'll measure this out, and then we'll get the table saw, which is stuck way back there, measure the width, and then glue that into place, and then probably put a couple of nails on each end just to secure it a little more, and then we'll be done. So what I thought was going to take several hours looks like it's only going to take maybe another 30 minutes or so. I've just cut down the 2 pieces that I'm going to insert in the top of the doors, as you can see here. Use my trusty dusty table saw over here. Ended up being a 1 1/8 of an inch thickness. Wasn't worried too much about the depth because that's all going to be hidden. But you can see here it fits very snug into the top of the door. And then it's the same on this piece. So we're just going to line it up here. You'll see that. That's all she wrote. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the top and bottom of this and then slide that into place. I'm also going to drill a couple of holes here. Actually, just screw a couple of drywall screws into the top so I can use those as kind of handles to maneuver this into place. Once that starts to set up, I'll drive a couple of finishing nails on the end of each one just to secure that a little more, and then we'll be finished. All right, I got that first one in and it looks great. That is setting up with the glue. It went in really nice. And like I said, I'm going to tap in here on the edges with a couple of finish nails just to make sure that it adheres just nice. But all that glue on there is drying currently. And just to show you what I've done on this side, I've already coated the inside along the edge here with glue, some wood glue there. And I've got the top edge against the far end. Because as I slide that in, that glue is going to come this way and some of it's going to seep out a little bit. And then you can see I got my 2 screws on there to use so I can guide and line it up. So we're going to go ahead and try to put this in one-handed just to show you how this works. So I'm going to just slide one in here like this. All right, and then we'll put the other end in over here. And I'm just gonna push that in a little bit. Should go in. This one's a little bit of a tighter fit. I'm gonna have to go straight on here. There we go. And I'm just gonna kind of maneuver that in on each end. And then all we're gonna do is kind of push that in until it gets even on each end. Right here. And then that looks pretty good right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you fix the top of hollow core doors when you cut too much off and make a rookie mistake. So we're gonna let that dry again, do the same thing, punch a couple of finish nails on the end, make it secure, and then we will be good to go. So that will wrap up this session, and we're gonna go start painting these doors. I got my finish paint somewhere over here. There it is. Ultra pure white semi-gloss. Nice paintbrush. We're gonna get the one side done, and then we'll flip it over to the other side, and then go back up and finish the molding that we started a little while ago. So until next time, we're gonna close this one out. So until then, peace out.